Okay, we're back with day 4, and that is releasing your former self. I think that was the hardest thing for me. Um, it's one thing to want to be free, and then there's another thing to release the layers of your former self. And the former self was really, in short, my old beliefs. My former self uh, knew that she was beautiful, knew that she was special, but also carried a lot of stuff that weighed on my heart, that weighed on my mind, that weighed on my soul, but I still showed up as that. So I want you to get on a sheet of paper and write down who is your former self? If you are that person currently right now, meaning that this is how you desire this, how you see yourself now is where you are right now and how you have been. You desire to see yourself differently. What does that look like? What does that feel like? I dreamed about this girl for a long time when I was my former self. I dreamed about her for a long time. The girl that you see, that I see every day, is a girl who is a woman, is a soul who does not give up, is a soul who's beautiful and bright, is a soul who knows her worth, is a soul who is constantly searching and finding the truth, is a soul who is introspective and willing to give herself grace. I didn't used to give myself grace. Is a person who's willing to accept her imperfection. I didn't used to accept my imperfection. I was very hard on myself. Um, there are things that now stepping out of your former self into the person that you desire is not from a place of perfection. Please know this. This is not from a place of perfection. It is from a place of awareness. It's from a place of awareness of who you divinely and truly are, a place of awareness. And when we step into that place of awareness, that's when we feel the level of freedom and that level of truth. And so who you desire to be, if you are that person, you would say, like, I'm the person that I don't really desire to be right now, and I'm repeating this cycle that I don't really desire, we would call that like the former self, or your former identity, right? That former, what that looks like for you. How have you been functioning? How have you been showing up in the world, right? And then saying, okay, well, what is my true identity? And we know the answer because it's inside of us. It's just buried in all the other stuff. So it's saying, well, how do I see myself? And it really starts with the feeling. What does it feel like? And for me, when I say what it feels like, for me, it feels free. For me, it feels authentic. For me, it feels vulnerable. For me, it feels imperfect, but I embrace what I feel that what I used to feel that I had to perfect or try to make it look perfect. I give myself permission to be imperfect with grace. I give myself the permission to show up just as is. Like, no extra pretense. This is me. Of course I have, flaws. Of course I have moments where I overthink. Of course I have moments where I have to pause, but I'm mindful. I'm mindful and I'm awakened. I'm mindful and I'm awakened. So there's a level of grace that one must give. So what does it mean authentically for you? What does it mean authentically for you to show up as your true self? To show up as your true self. What does that mean authentically for you? What does that look like? What does that sound like? What does that smell like? What does that taste like? What does that feel like? What does that feel like in your senses? Get into it. It's there. It's there. If you want to start, go to your childhood. Go back to your childhood and think about how you showed up authentically. Think about that. What was that feeling? More of the feeling. Get into that feeling. You can simply close your eyes. Get into that feeling. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's you. That wants to show up as you. That wants to show up as you. And cutting away what we're attached to that no longer serves us. Cutting away, releasing those layers and stepping into who you divinely are.